Mini episode 1085 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1085. I'm FDH managing partner Rick Morris here with our 2018-19 NFL Divisional Round preview. Last week we went 2-2, bringing us to 122, 126, and 9 on the season. First up, these teams faced in the same time slot a few years back on Wild Card Weekend. This time it's the Colts at KC, with the home side laying 5.5 up from 4.5. Indy was 10th on our final power rankings, KC was 4th. Indy was 31st in our strength of schedule index, KC was 27th. Indy was 28th in our impressiveness of victories index, KC was 7th. Indy was 8th in DVOA, KC was 1st. Indy was 10th in offensive DVOA and 7th in offensive yards, KC was 1st and 1st respectively. Indy was 10th in defensive DVOA and 11th in defensive yards, KC was 26th and 31st respectively. Indy was 12th in special teams DVOA, KC was 2nd. In our overall team UQB rankings, Indy was 9th, KC was 5th. Both teams are tremendous on third down offensively and fairly impotent on third down defensively, so we can anticipate a lot of points. Given the Colts' defensive superiority and red-hot streak, it's tempting to go with them, but to pick against Patrick Mahomes in this historic chance to break Kansas City's record of home playoff futility is not something we're prepared to do. On Saturday night, the Cowboys come to the City of Angels in a renewal of a legendary 1970s playoff rivalry, getting a touchdown. Dallas was 11th in our final power rankings, LA was 3rd. Dallas was 22nd in our strength of schedule index, LA was 25th. Dallas was 13th in our impressiveness of victories index, LA was 3rd. Dallas was 21st in DVOA, LA was 2nd. Dallas was 24th in offensive DVOA and 22nd in offensive yards, LA was 2nd and 2nd respectively. Dallas was 9th in defensive DVOA and 7th in defensive yards. LA was 19th and 19th respectively. Dallas was 23rd in special teams DVOA. LA was 17th. In our overall team UQB rankings, Dallas was tied for 16th. LA was 3rd. In short, the Rams don't lose when they don't turn the ball over. They went through a fluky streak of turnovers late in the year that hurt them, and we're picking that to be over and them to get the cover here. Early Sunday afternoon, the Chargers come to Foxborough trying to avenge their memorable playoff losses of the late 2000s, getting 4 down from 4.5. LA was 5th in our final power rankings, New England was 7th. LA was 29th in our strength of schedule index, New England was 24th. Both teams were tied for 8th in our impressiveness of victories index. LA was 3rd in DVOA, New England was 7th. LA was 3rd in offensive DVOA and 11th in offensive yards. New England was 5th and 5th, respectively. LA was 8th in defensive DVOA and 9th in defensive yards. New England was 16th and 21st, respectively. LA was 25th in special teams DVOA. New England was 16th. In our overall team UQB rankings, LA was 4th and New England was 7th. In most measures, the Chargers are the better team, albeit one that will be forced to play 1 o'clock games on the East Coast in back-to-back weeks. The temptation by many will be to go with Tom Brady no matter what, but he's started to show a few cracks this year and doesn't have much in the way of explosive offensive weapons at his disposal at this point. Take the road dog. Late Sunday afternoon, the Eagles come to the Big Easy where they got their asses beat in the low point of a championship hangover season, getting 8 down from 8.5. Philly was 12th in our final power rankings, New Orleans was 1st. Philly was 13th in our strength of schedule index, New Orleans was 20th. Philly was 6th in our impressiveness of victories index. New Orleans led the league. Philly was 16th in DVOA. New Orleans was 4th. Philly was 16th in offensive DVOA and 14th in offensive yards. New Orleans was 4th and 8th respectively. Philly was 15th in defensive DVOA and 23rd in defensive yards. New Orleans was 11th and 14th, respectively. Philly was 15th in special teams DVOA. New Orleans was 9th. In our overall team UQB rankings, Philly was 12th and New Orleans was 1st. The spread reflects the fact that the Saints grade out higher, sometimes much higher, pretty much across the board. The Eagles have summoned up all of the grit at their disposal to make this unlikely second straight late season run, but against the best team in the league with Drew Brees in an MVP year and now getting back Ted Ginn, it won't even be enough to cover. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.
As we bring the show to a close, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all Clear Channel affiliates, TNT, TBS, USA, UPN, Deadspin.com, YouTube.com, YTMND.com, MySpace.com, various blogs, Fox News, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, IamBoard.com, Billboard.com, Google.com, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN Classic, NBA TV, NFL Network, Sports Time Ohio, Athlon Magazine, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, The Boomerang Channel, QVC, BET, The Spice Channel, Steno Notebooks, Manwich, Papermate Office Supplies, waitresses, strippers, bartenders, garbage men, janitors, microwave popcorn, the writers of The Office, Scrubs, Entourage, My Name is Earl, Oz, Metalocalypse and the Boondocks, Aquafina, and the periodic table of elements.